to utilize your FlexJobs account to its fullest ability. So I want to go over some housekeeping points. First of all, my name is Jess Vivian Larson, and I am the Client Services Team Lead. And today we will have Karen and Sheila, who will also be presenting. We're going to cover the advanced search option, how to target your search, and the best practices to search the site, and then also going over how to set up your resume profile. If you have questions, please feel free to ask your questions on the box, which is on the Go To Webinar control panel. You may need to hit the orange arrow to expand the control panel to see the questions area. We'll have about 45 minutes of presentations, and then we'll have time for questions and answers at the end. So we will go ahead and get started. And we're going to start off first with the advanced search option.
Okay, thank you, Jess. My name is Sheila, and thanks everyone for joining us today. I am part of the Client Services team, and I'm going to go over one of the important pieces of using the FlexJobs website successfully, and that's using the advanced search option. And it's a very helpful tool when you are searching for jobs. So first, when you log into your FlexJobs account, you're going to be on your My FlexJobs homepage. And to find the advanced search option, you'll go over to the right under the control panel. There's also going to be a search for jobs and then related job search options, and that's where you're going to find the advanced search options. And for those of you that are not already FlexJobs subscribers, you're going to find that advanced search option in the same place. So either way, it's going to be on the right-hand side there. And the first thing I'd like to point out is the blue tips boxes that are to the top right of each of the search fields. If you hover over those boxes, they'll give you kind of an explanation of what you might want to enter in that box. So the first field that we have there is going to be the keywords. And this is one that you may want to kind of play around with. If you're a writer, if you're looking for writing jobs, you may try different words here because you are going to get different results. So for instance, if you are a writer, you might type in writer in the keywords, and if you search for those jobs, it looks like you're going to get 710. However, if you try a different word, for instance, writing, you will get different results. So if you are choosing to use the keywords, you just want to keep in mind that you're going to try different words that might mean the same thing or similar things, because you're going to get different results there. The next box over is the exclude words. So for instance, if you know for sure there's something that you want to exclude from your search, you can enter that here. A good example is if you're a nurse, maybe you're an LPN, and you do not want to find, or you don't want to see jobs that are RN jobs. You can certainly exclude RN, and then when you're doing your search will not include any of the RN jobs. So that's kind of a good thing, a good example for excluding words. You could also, for instance, if you're not looking for freelance jobs, you could certainly enter freelance under this exclude word. But that's just something, if you know for sure that you don't want something, you could certainly enter it there in the exclude word. The next box down is the U.S. locations. And this is where you'll enter your city and state, your zip code when you're searching for jobs. This is important even if you are looking for work-at-home positions. A lot of people are looking for telecommuting positions that do come to our website. But you do want to enter your city and state, because although some employers let their employees work from home, they still want you to be located in the city and state where they are. They might have training or meetings, you might have certifications, so there's several reasons that you would want to make sure that you enter your city and state. So Jess, if you put in Denver, Colorado and 100% telecommuting, for instance, so you're looking for a work-at-home job and you live in Denver, Colorado, we'll go ahead and just run that search there. And what's going to come up for you are a few different things. Let's go ahead and just click on that eye there, that icon at the top there, to kind of give an explanation of what these icons mean. If you ever are in doubt, there's an icon guide for what these mean. And then also, when you go back to your search, if you hover over the icon, it will also give you an explanation of what the icons mean. So for instance, the FlexJobs, the FJ, that's going to be one of our featured employers. And then also, if you hover over the U.S. flag, it's going to indicate that that is a job that can be done from anywhere in the U.S. So there is no location requirement other than you have to be in the United States. There's also going to be different flags. The green and blue box is going to be one that can be done from anywhere in the world, Canadian flags, etc. So that's what that's going to bring up for you. So it's going to bring up jobs that can be done from Denver, Colorado, as well as nationwide jobs and worldwide jobs. And if there is the red box there, or the red balloon type icon there, that is one that does have a location requirement. So you do have to be in the city and state where that particular job is located. All right, so let's go ahead and go back. If you are one of our international job seekers, the next field is going to be where you're going to enter your location. You can also certainly choose anywhere in the world if you're looking for a job that can be done from anywhere in the world. So if you are looking for that type of job, that's where you'll put that. The next field is going to be for the job type. So here is where, if you're looking for an employee job, if you are looking for a W-2 job, you'll go ahead and choose employee. The freelance jobs are going to be ones that are more contract positions or 1099 positions. So if that's what you're looking for, that's what you would choose there. And then, of course, there are volunteer jobs, internships, and temporary positions that are sort of self-explanatory there. So you could certainly enter what type of job you're looking for there as well. The work schedule is the next field over. And of course, you can certainly choose, if you know you only want to see full-time jobs, you can certainly choose that here. Part-time jobs, same thing. Flexible schedules are going to be ones that are not necessarily a 9-to-5 Monday through Friday job. They would be a little more flexible. Maybe you only work a few days a week, or you can work different hours. Alternative schedules would most likely be ones that are not the ordinary 9-to-5 first shift positions. Occasional jobs would be just that. They only need you on occasion. Seasonal jobs are ones, around the holidays where employers are a little busier. They might be looking for seasonal help. And then long-term and short-term. So those are pretty self-explanatory there as well. And then we do have jobs that are anywhere from entry-level to executive positions. So if you know for sure that your skill level is entry-level and that's all you want to see, you can certainly select that here. And again, if you know that you only want to see executive positions, you can certainly choose that. That would be one that you'd want to play around with as well, because if you do choose executive positions and you're not finding enough, you can certainly go down to the supervisor role or the non-manager experience position. So that's one that you might want to play around with if you don't feel that you're getting enough results. And then we've kind of gone over the telecommuting. If you are looking for 100% work-at-home positions, you'll want to make sure that you choose 100% there. If you want to work at home most of the time, some of the time, you can certainly adjust that there as well. So you can, again, play around with that if you want. The categories is another important box to fill out here, because you do want to narrow down your results a little bit. If you are interested in, an accounting, medical, whatever it is, you can certainly scroll through the drop-down box and choose that. You can also start typing what you're looking for, and if that is one of our categories, that will come up for you as well, and then you just go ahead and select it. And then, of course, you can delete and change that as much as you want. You can choose as many categories as you want there. And then the next box over is going to be whether or not you are interested in traveling. For some positions, sales positions, may require some travel. So if that's not something that you're interested in doing, you could certainly indicate that here. If you don't care or you are willing to travel, you can certainly indicate that here as well. The next boxes are featured and award-winning employers. So you could certainly search this as well. We have Fortune 500 companies, we have featured employers, so you can definitely choose any of these as well if you want to search for certain employers only. And then we typically suggest to sort of do a broad search at first because you can always narrow that search down. So for instance, Jess, if you'll just go ahead and type in our U.S. location as Denver, and then we want to work at home, so we want 100% telecommuting. And then we're interested in a few different categories there, maybe account management, writing, customer service, there you go. So we'll go ahead and choose a few categories. So this is what we suggest to start off with, and then go ahead and search for those jobs. So once you do your search here, you do get 563 results. And then over to the right here, you can save the search. So if this is a search that you're happy with and you know that this is a search that you're going to want to perform, you can go ahead and save that. And I'll show you where to find that search later. But you can go ahead and save the search. Also in the right column here, so 563 is kind of an overwhelming results, so you can definitely narrow those jobs down if you need to. So you can narrow it by job type, your schedule. If you're looking maybe just for part-time, you could certainly choose that. If you want to narrow it down by some other categories, you can do that, career level. So again, you can narrow down your search a little bit more over here on the right. You can also remove, so if you decide that you don't want to see any writing jobs, you can go ahead and remove that. So this is something that you could play around with. So so that narrows that down again to 16 results. So this is something that you can play around with if you need to. And you can also save multiple searches. So if you find a different search, so say for instance you only want to see jobs from featured employers, you can certainly save that search. Or again, you took away some of the things here. So you can definitely save several searches. And then what you'll do if you want to go back to these searches and see those again later, you can go ahead back to your My FlexJobs homepage. You'll get there from clicking that box in the top left corner. And then if you scroll down a little bit to your job search activity, your saved searches are going to be there. So the searches that we've performed are going to be there. And then if you scroll down a little bit more and look at all saved searches, if you ever want to delete a search that you've done, there's an X box or an X there that you can go ahead and delete these searches if you don't want those anymore. So that's another thing that you can do for your searches. And then just with the advanced search too, it's some tips that we'll go over, Jess, if you want to go back to the PowerPoint. So more, again, is not always better. So if you happen to fill out every single field in this advanced search, you may not get any results. So that's, again, something that you're going to want to play around with. Again, we recommend usually choosing your U.S. location, your telecommuting level, and your categories. And then on the next page, if you need to narrow it down a little bit more, you certainly could do that. Again, if you're going to use keywords, you're going to want to play around with that as well, using different forms of a word because you will get different results there. And then if you're not getting enough results, again, we kind of recommend using a broad search at first and then narrowing it down a little bit later. And I think that's all that I have. Did you all have anything else that you'd want to add as far as the advanced search goes?
No, I think that was great. Thank you so much, Sheila. All right, so we're going to move over to the resume profile and kind of how to set up a profile and get started with your account. We'll go ahead and give this over to Karen.
Thanks, Jess, and thanks, Sheila, for going over that advanced search. So this is another important part of using your account, setting up your resume profile. And there's a few different purposes for your resume profile. It's going to help automate your job search. It's a much broader search than that advanced search that we just looked at, but our system will, take a look at the information you put within your profile and send you notifications daily if new jobs meeting those criteria or close to those criteria have been posted to our site so you can take a look at them. Those are your new jobs of interest that you'll see. It will also allow you can use your resume profile to apply for different positions. Some of the featured employers on our site will want you to apply for their jobs through our site with your resume profile. You can also use the profile to create a PDF if you don't currently have a resume that you're using to apply for jobs. All right, Jess, if you want to go to the next slide, please. All right. Now, we've kind of touched on this briefly, but the featured employers are the employers who have come directly to FlexJobs. They are screened and approved by our staff. They can post their positions directly to our site. They can also search for our job seekers and reach out to them if they're interested in getting in contact with them. There's a couple ways you'll know if it's a featured employer. You'll see up on the side where it says Web Content Writer, that is in orange. So any featured employer will be, their job titles will be in orange. You'll also see the FJ star. It's now an FJ, it's still a star, but it's filled in blue. And if they want you to apply through our site with your resume profile, the apply box is going to say apply for this job. And just a note on that, some employers will also ask you to apply by email, so you will see that as well. And the second type of jobs we have on our site are from external employers. These are the companies that our job researchers find through outside websites, reputable job boards. They do the research, verify they're legitimate, and we'll put them on our site. These companies do not post their jobs directly to FlexJobs, and they cannot browse your resume profiles. So that's some of the differences between those two types of employers. And Jess, we can move on to the next slide, please. All right, just some tips before we actually go to the live site. You can always create more than one profile if you are, have different skills. Maybe you're looking for a marketing job, but you're also good with sales. You could, combine that into one profile, or you can certainly make two profiles. On the site, you can have as many profiles as you wish. It's really up to you. You definitely want to have at least one. And you want to have a different title for each profile. So when you're applying for jobs and you're attaching a resume profile, you know which one you want to attach. And you want to fill in as much information as possible. You do have the option of setting your privacy status, and so that's a possibility. And it's important to have the job categories and job details that you're really looking for, that you want our system to search for you. So at this time, we will go over to the live site, if we can, Jess, and we'll actually walk through setting up a profile. So here we are back on the site. The best way to get to your resume profile, you can click on your name in the upper right on the blue bar, and then just select Resume Profiles. What this will do, so it's actually at the bottom of the home page, so you can also scroll down to the home page, but you'll see when you go to this section, on this account we already have two profiles set up, and there's just a couple of things I want to point out while we're here on this page. You'll see on the first profile that says Experienced Writer, there's a green active box. What that means is the profile is completely filled out, there's no missing information, employers can search for you. The second profile says incomplete. Sometimes there'll be a piece of missing information within your profile. So if you ever see that, incomplete box. I'll show you where you'll know what you need to fill out to change it to active. There's also one more thing you may see on this page. You may see a red box that says inactive. If it says inactive, that's because you have your privacy status as inactive. So we'll go ahead and go into the profile now. We'll create a new profile. Oh, yeah, create a new profile. So anytime, I mentioned we just saw the incomplete profile. Anytime you see you have a profile that's incomplete, there will be this light blue box up at the top, and it will let you know what you need to fill out to activate your profile. So if you may, as we work through this profile, you'll see that these areas are removed when it's been filled out. So as we go through, that blue box will minimize as we walk through. So the first tab we work on is the About Me tab, where you're going to profile, or you're going to title your profile. So you'll click the Edit box. And again, as Sheila mentioned with the advanced search, in the profile we also have a tips tool in the upper right. You can select that. Always lots of great tips if you want to see what our tips are for each field. So your profile title, like it says here, is extremely important. It's really one of the first things employers are going to see. It's just a title. You don't want to put any identifying information in here, like a name. You just want a catchy title. If you have a specific area that you want to work in, you can have a very specific title. Experienced HR consultant, 10 years experience, something like that. If you are kind of open to new opportunities, it can be a little bit broader, maybe, sales professional open to new opportunities, things like that. Once you've got your title in, you want to click the green Save box, and then you just move down to the next box, which is your contact information. This is an important box to fill out, especially your email, where you want employers to contact you. You can have your phone, the website. If you have an online portfolio, career-related blog, this is also where you can put in your LinkedIn link for employers to look at. It's good to have those in there if you have, you're wanting employers to look at that additional information you have. The city and state and zip code are also important. Sometimes we'll see, if you just put United States within your contact information, your new jobs of interest are going to pull jobs, that are U.S. national, as well as from states all over the U.S. So when you put in your city and state and say you just want telecommuting jobs, it is going to look in your city and state and then the U.S. national jobs. So it won't be pulling from, every state within the United States. So again, we're just going to save this box. And the next box is the picture. Now this is completely optional if you choose to put in a photograph of yourself. If you do, you of course want to make it a professional friendly picture, because that is the first impression an employer will have of you when they pull up your profile. But again, it's completely preferential. It's up to you. If you don't feel comfortable putting a photo, it's not going to make an employer look at yours and not another if you don't have a picture. So that's completely preferential. So the next box is your privacy status, and I kind of touched on these a little bit. When you click Edit Your Privacy, these are the three options we have. First option, Active and Public. This makes your profile viewable to anyone on a web search. We don't recommend this because, again, it's public. So if you really want to have that, you can. Again, we don't recommend it because it is public. What we recommend is the second level, where it says Active and Private. That makes your profile viewable only to our featured employers who can search for you. And then for our job seekers that don't want anyone to know they're searching for a job, or for whatever reason, you can make your profile inactive and private. That means that you can use your profile to apply for positions on our site when you're applying through FlexJobs, but you're making that choice to release your profile. So that's up to you. And again, if you see on that home page, if your profile says inactive, it would be because of that privacy status. All right, and the next box is your home office. This is all the information, you want an employer to know the equipment that you have, and it's a good idea to have that on there so they get an idea of what kind of equipment you're working with. This one's pretty self-explanatory. And again, we always want to save. And our last box on this page is the military status. If you do have any sort of military status, you can enter that into here. And if not, you can just skip that box. Now on the bottom right, you'll see where it says Next tab, My Job Search. You can select that to go to the next page. You can also navigate through the tabs on the top. But once you're finished with the page, it's easy just to click in the bottom right. And your summary objective is what you start off with on this page. And this is where you're just making yourself stand out to the employer, your career goals, 1 to 2 sentence objective is a good thing to put in there. And then you want to click Save. And if you ever want to go back in and update your summary objective, you can do that. You'll click on the Add Summary again to pull up that, and you can edit it any way you need to. The next very important box is the job categories that you'd like to select. So you'll select Edit Categories. Each profile, you can have 5 different job categories. So you can scroll through the list and select up to 5. If you don't have that many, it's okay. If you have more than 5, it's okay. You would just create a second profile, and you could have 5 additional in the second profile. You really want to look for the categories you're interested in, which are qualified, and maybe even the industries that you've worked in before. And if you only want one profile and you have 6 or 7 categories you want to choose, just choose the ones you're most strong and interested in. And then the next box we have is the job details. So we'll go down to Edit Job Details. And this is where you're going to select the types of jobs you're willing to consider. So we've got employee, freelance, temporary, volunteer, and internships. You really want to make sure that you're selecting the types that you're really interested in. If you know you don't want a temporary job, obviously don't put that in there, as well as the schedule. The career level is important. And a couple of things to remember here, like Sheila mentioned on the advanced search, playing around with these career levels with your profile is also a good idea. If you had selected a manager because you've been in a management position before, the way we classify the manager positions on our site is strictly a managerial role. So if you're not receiving a lot of results in that manager role, you can always change it to experienced. You can still get management level jobs that are not direct supervisory roles. And so it'll really open up your search and give you more jobs to look at. Your education level is also what you want to put in there. And the pay, sometimes we get questions. It's completely preferential, again, if you want to put your salary within there. If you do put a salary, you want to try to make sure it's, your current, what am I trying to say? It's your expected. It's like for your industry, you don't want to put it too high and completely, disqualify yourself from a position, and you don't want to undercut yourself. You don't want it too low within there. But again, if you don't want to put anything at all, you can choose to leave that blank. And there's also the other compensation and benefits area. We like ice cream, so we want to put that in our benefits. But whatever you want to put in there that you want in additional, again, that's an optional field. And the next boxes are job flexibility and preferences. And again, you want to select the schedules that you would be interested in. A lot of our job seekers will select telecommuting, and then if you do, you can select the level of telecommuting that you would like, and if you're willing to travel. And then the final box on this page is your availability and schedule. This is will give an employer an idea of your flexibility, and the broader options you pick here, the wider range of job opportunities you'll see. And then we'll just click Save and move on to the next tab. Now the next tab is the Upload Resume tab. If you have a current document on your computer, a current resume, you can upload that into our site. You want to make sure a potential employer is going to be able to read your document, so we recommend that you use your universal file types, such as a .doc, a .text, or a PDF. That way, you know, when the employer gets your resume, they will be able to read it. So you'll just search for it and save. You will know your resume has been posted to our site when you see your file name. So when your file name's there, you know it's been added. And I'll show you in a little bit here where you can go and you can view what your profile is going to look like, and you can also see that your resume is attached there. The second box here is the Upload Work Sample, and this is the area where you can kind of highlight your skills. You know, ones you can upload work samples that you feel strongly about that are going to show your professional qualifications and help sell you as a candidate. We recommend not to upload more than 5. This area is meant to give an idea of what you can do, but it's not meant to have your whole online portfolio necessarily. So, and if an employer, if they're requesting, if you're applying through FlexJobs and they're requesting work samples, this is where you would add that information. And so our next tab is for our customers who do not currently have a resume that they're working with and can upload. So this area is pretty self-explanatory. You're going to be filling it out basically as your resume. So you can add your work experience. Maybe the last 10 to 15 years, maybe 15 to 20 years you'll put on there as we fill that out. It's good to include the work experience that is going to be relative to the type of work that you're interested in doing, and that can also highlight your transferable skills. And so just sometimes, because we get this question too, we've got our two different sections, 2 different work experiences in there. You can sort them by the little arrows on the left. You'll just click and drag up and down if you need to resort the order. And the next box is education. So we'll add a school here. You do want to put your school. Dates are required on this field. Employers do want to see when you've graduated. We get that question sometimes if you have to put in the dates, but yes, that's a required field there. And then the next box, after we get this saved, are your skills. So in the skills area, you can enter, there's different kind of skills you can enter. You can enter computer skills, like if you know HTML, JavaScript, Ruby on Rails. You can enter, and then you can select if you're, what level you are. You can enter business skills. If you've been a trainer before, you're good at public speaking. There's also skills specific to your job or industry that are more detailed. There's also soft skills that you can use and write to that will cross over different industries, like communication, multitasking, problem solving, things like that. And you'll just add those as you go through. And it's up to you, but it's good to put the skills on in your level so employers can see that as well. The next box is languages. Definitely, if you're bilingual, you want to enter that information in there. And some jobs, big Latin. some jobs that you will be applying for, if you're bilingual, will want to know that as well. And certificates, certifications and memberships, some industries, like the insurance industry comes to mind, you might need a specific certificate, or you may do continuing education, anything like that you can add in here. Honors and awards, by all means, add those if you've earned them. It's a fantastic way to, kind of help you stand out in what you've received and how you can perform at high levels. And again, you can always go in and update these fields, change them, kind of work on it as you go. And then we'll go to the next tab, which is the My PDF tab. The My PDF tab is for our job seekers who have used the Build Resume. So you want to create your own PDF. You can download it to your system, just like a Word doc, to apply for different jobs. So you'll have that on your system for outside companies when you're applying through their website. And you'll also see this view here. This is what your profile will look like. And if you, as we just scroll down. Now, as you're viewing on this, you'll also see skills tests. If you take any skills tests on our site, any score that you receive on a skills test that is 70% or above will automatically show within your resume profile. Some of our job seekers choose just to use the skills test to make themselves stand out if they know they're outstanding in a particular area. Other job seekers will use the skills test when an employer, our featured employers, have the option of requesting that you take certain tests to submit with your application. So if we exit this page, Jess. Now, if you weren't going to create a PDF, you can also view your profile in the upper right in that blue box where it says View My Profile. This will bring up the page. This is exactly what an employer would see when they're viewing your profile. So you'll see the information we entered in. If you scroll down towards the bottom, you'll see there's the skills tests again, and any attachments that we've attached. So if you're not sure if your resume was on, you'll see that there on the bottom. So this is why we recommend that you have a viewable document, because the employers will just be clicking on these links here to pull up your information. And I think let's go to the home page, Jess, if we could. I just want to point out where the skills tests are, because we do get a lot of questions on our skills tests. So they'll be in the control panel. Oh, well, two ways. You can go to the control panel here. You can take a skills test. You can also view your results. If you view your results, some people ask how you can remove a test. You can remove any test that you've taken from our site by clicking that X on the right. And you can take these tests as many times as you want. The only thing is you need to wait 24 hours before you retake the test. So, and again, it's completely up to you if you want to remove the test or leave it. You can keep any score on there. Again, only scores that are 70% or above will be shown on your resume profile. If you receive a 50%, it'll still show for you within your test results here, but not on your profile. And I think, Jess, if you want to go back to the home, one other thing I forgot to show you within the resume profile. So if we go back up or back down to the profile, Jess, thanks. Now you'll see that our inactive profile on the bottom is now reading as active because we filled out all of the boxes. If you want to click Edit, Jess, thank you. One little last reminder here, there is a little video that you can watch on the right-hand side. It says watch this video. It'll kind of take you through the steps as well of reviewing your profile if you have any questions. So at this time, Jess, I think we can go back to the PowerPoint, and I'll hand it back to you, Jess.
Thank you, Karen. Sorry about that. All right. So again, there's the video if you want just a quick kind of 10-minute explanation of going through the profile itself. So we are going to open up the time for some questions. So please feel free to start throwing some questions in the question box, and we'd be glad to answer those. A couple things that I do want to point out for members to take a look at as well as part of the membership with FlexJobs. One of the things that's really fantastic if you're enjoying your FlexJobs membership or you know someone who may benefit from using the site, you can definitely use the Refer a Friend link. It is unique to your account. They get 30% off and you get a free month onto your account. So you've got a couple different options of how you could let your friends know if you have people that are also interested in using the site. It's a great way to be rewarded for your word of mouth on that. And then another thing that we really recommend our users take advantage of is the job search tips and help area, which is just along the top of the blue bar on any page of the website. And so this is where you will find information about job search, cover letter tips, work options, benefits, job resources. So any webinars that we've had in the past are listed here, as well as upcoming webinars are also listed as well. We have information about news and job trends, so anything that's currently going on in hiring, we will post in this area. So this is a really great way to stay connected with career counselors and other employment experts on what is happening in hiring right now. So make sure that you do check that out. And then one more thing that I definitely would like to point out to everybody who is a member is that we do have special partner options. And so as a member of FlexJobs, we have relationships with a lot of really wonderful companies that can assist with different services that they offer discounts to our members for using. So companies like Dell will give discounts to our members, or Carbonite. So as you're setting up your home office or getting ready to shop for anything, this is a really great way to save a little bit of money with the membership that you're already paying for with FlexJobs. So those are things that we definitely recommend you check out as a member because you can definitely take advantage of getting some discounts there. So we'll go ahead and get some questions started here. Okay, so when you're entering the skills into a resume profile or any other information into a resume profile, does that transfer between profiles? So if you put in the skills in one profile, will it automatically appear in an additional profile?
Good question. No, you actually have to fill out each profile. So it will not transfer to it won't read between the 2 or 3 or 4. It is something you need to do for each profile.
Okay. We have a question about how quickly employers pay. And as far as compensation, benefits, anything that would go with the actual hiring of an employee, that is actually done with the employer directly. That's not something that FlexJobs is involved in. So we're doing the research on the listings, but the hiring process will all be done between a candidate and the employer themselves, as well as compensation. So we just wanted to make sure that we had answered that as well. We did have a question if we could review the search tips, and this is actually being recorded, so you guys will be able to review anything if you did, miss any part of the profile or did need to step away for a moment. I have one for you, Sheila. What is the difference between alternative schedule versus flexible schedule?
Sure. So an alternative schedule is typically going to be something out of the ordinary. So it's not going to be your typical 9-to-5 job. It might be something where the employer is flexible about the hours that you work. I'm sorry, it's going to be an alternative schedule. So it might be a second shift or third shift position. The flexible schedules are going to be more of the ones that the employer is flexible about the hours that you work. You might work 40 hours, but they may not care the times that you work. You can maybe work 12 to 5 or 5 to 9. So the flexible schedule will be more of that sort of thing. Alternative is going to be something maybe second or third shift.
Perfect. So yeah, the difference is going to be nights and weekends versus, you know, anytime that you want to, kind of. So got another question. Let's see here. Okay, so with the dates on the resume profile for education, if you're not comfortable posting your dates for any reason, our suggestion is to do an attached resume and not to build your resume on the site, because you can move dates around and include or disclude that information. But on our resume, because that is something that employers have asked to have featured, it is a required field. So if it is something that you're not comfortable with, we do recommend just doing an attached resume instead of a built resume. We have another question about whether potential employers see all of your resume profiles at once, or if they can just see the profile for a specific job.
Sure. I believe that employers can search for candidates on job categories. So if you have categories, you know, listed, say they're looking for an accountant and you have accounting in your as a category, they can search on that category and pull up the profiles that have that and contact candidates that way.
Perfect. Yeah. So they won't see if you've got multiple profiles.
Yeah, it would just be based on that one. And then they can actually, if an employer is going to reach out to you, they'll send you a message through FlexJobs. So you'll see right kind of up towards the upper left, there's your message inbox. You could see a message there saying an employer is contacting you or something like that. So they have the capability to email from within the account.
Wonderful. Okay, and then we had a clarification question. What kind of employer doesn't go through your site? Is my profile open to anyone that's not checked out by you?
We check out everyone. We research every job and company on the site. The external jobs are the companies that our job researchers have found and posted to our site. Those external companies cannot search for you. If we could go to, let's see, if we can go to the related job search options and maybe just select all new jobs, I'll let you see another way that you can tell. So that first job is an external posting. The link, the physical therapist, is in blue. That means that, and that company cannot search for any candidate on our site. The second position, principal statistical programmer, is a FlexJobs featured company. You'll see the light blue bar on the side, and you'll see the FJ logo. Their job title is in orange, so that would be a company, if you had your privacy settings allowing one of the companies to search for you, that would be a company that could search for you.
Pardon me. Goodness, thank you guys. Okay, let's see here. How do we access the recorded webinar? So Sheila, can you go over where to find the webinar?
Sure, no problem. So when you are on our website, all of our webinars are going to be under that job search tips and help tab. And then if you go to that last choice, job resources, the webinars and videos are the last selection in the column there. So you can certainly choose webinars and videos, and then the webinars and videos that we've done recently will come up there. You can also type in the search box if you wanted to do that. So this would be regarding advanced search and profile. So you could type advanced search in there, and you'll also be able to find the webinars that we have done on the advanced search. So our most recent one up until now is the one from November 6th, so that will be the first one that comes up there. So you can certainly do it that way as well.
Awesome, thank you. And we had a question of if the listings are removed once the positions are filled.
Yes, we work very hard to keep our database up to date and clean. We have regular cleanings, and you know, sometimes because of the amount of jobs on our site, some will slip through the cracks. An employer may take down a posting before they originally said they would. So sometimes you can run across an expired job on our site. However, with that being said, we do work very hard to make sure our postings are up to date and our database is clean. There is an option that we didn't touch on today that is a good thing to let you guys know while we're on the site. Jess, if you could just pull up any job, and if we go into the details, okay, so as you scroll down the page, if you find anything within a job, you know, maybe there's a spelling error that we missed or anything that you want to notify us of about a particular position, there's the red box that says flag this job. If you select that, you can type in there whatever your feedback is, and we will take a look at that. We'll get anything corrected. And again, we are human. We have lots of jobs. I believe there's over 22,000 jobs on the site today. So sometimes those errors can happen. We certainly, you know, try to minimize those. But this is the area where you can give us any comments or feedback on any of the positions you see. If you click out of that box, Jess, you'll also see just while we're in here the green box that says save this job. If you want to come back to this position, you can, when you click save that job, it'll save on your home page. If you want to go to the My FlexJobs home, Jess, I'll show you where you can find any of those saved jobs you have. So you'll scroll down to your job search activity, and that tab, your saved jobs. You can go back and pull those up. Also, this is where your saved searches will be. That'll be on the next tab over, you know, as Sheila did the saved search. Anytime you come back to the site, you can run any searches you've saved because you don't want to go through that advanced search again. As well, what I failed to mention as well, your new jobs of interest are just above this box. These are the jobs that our system finds for you based on your profile. So from our profile today, we see these jobs. If you have a large listing, you can go in the lower right-hand side of that box where it says all new jobs of interest. And it's just going to open up every job that our system has found for you. And again, this is based on your resume profile. If you want to remove any job, you can select the X. If you want to save any job, you can click the blue box. So I forgot to mention that. Before, that's where those jobs will come up as well. If you have notifications being sent to you by email, those will be emailed to you as well daily.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have time for about one more question. So where would someone want to search if they wanted to look at jobs that had just been recently posted? And to do that, you can actually go to the View All New Jobs, which is under the Related Job Search option. And this will give you everything that's just been posted. So that's available. And if a listing is up and it's got an older date on it, you should definitely check the link. Oftentimes, employers will only post one job posting, but they're hiring for multiple positions. And the average job stays up for about 45 days, and that's on every job board, not just FlexJobs. So I would really encourage people to not use the date here as a reason to apply or to not apply to a position. That's just more for your information. But definitely, you know, go to the link and look at the position before you decide that you're not applying for it because the date appears to be too far back. So definitely a good job search tip to know. We have a question. If you put a dollar amount per hour in your profile, will that filter out the jobs that pay less than that? And the answer to that is no, because we don't have salary as a search criteria on our website. There's a lot of different reasons that employers do not post the salaries for their positions, but it can include not wanting their competition knowing what they're paying, or current employees, or they just feel that it's a better way to negotiate with their potential candidates to discuss it at the time of interview. So there is not a way to search or a way to filter out that based on salary on our site. And let's see here. Then we have one more question that we can get to here. Go ahead and take this one. Are some jobs through agencies? And the answer to that is yes. Some employers exclusively use agencies to do their hiring or recruiters to do their hiring. So however the company is comfortable in processing their application is going to be processed through that system. So there's not a way to circumvent going around the recruiters or the agents if that is how the company themselves has decided they want to process their applicants. So that's why you may see agencies or recruiters, but we do not have any recruiters on staff ourselves. So it is up to the individuals using the site to actually match up with the employers that they're interested in pursuing. So I think that about wraps it up for us today. Again, I apologize for my coughing fit there. If you have questions at all, you're welcome to contact our Client Services Department. And there's a couple of ways to do that. One of the easiest ways is there is a Contact Us link at the bottom of every page. And so we are available by phone. You can also send us an email through here, or we have live support that is available as well during our business hours. So if you have a question, you're welcome to use any of those links. We also have a commonly asked questions area. So if there are questions that you might want to just go over again, or things like why salary isn't listed, that's all. These are some commonly asked questions. These link together to blog posts that kind of go through and explain ways to use FlexJobs most effectively as a member. So please feel free to let us know if you guys have any questions, or if we were unable to get to any questions specifically that you asked through the Q&A. And again, thank you very much, Karen and Sheila, for presenting and explaining how to use the FlexJobs membership. You're always welcome to go to flexjobs.com for more information. And thank you again for attending. We wish you all the best of luck in your job search and in your career. Have a great day.